Hello my friends, it is another busy Saturday here at Six Flags Great Adventure. Very popular today. It took me almost a half hour to get in the park today. Almost a half hour. Super crazy, but I'm curious to see here during the day, when it's this crowded, how are the ride ops, what are the lines are like, and I invite you to come along. So let's begin. Things are looking good here today for HallowFest 2020, and I found a new addition here. Kettle corn stand, which you may have seen in the live stream. It reminds me a lot of the types of stands that they would have out for Halloween Horror Nights, these temporary structures that they would have. I'm a big fan of this happening because now they can offer something a little bit special for HallowFest. This looks like the line here for the maze passes. I have not been able to confirm whether or not these sell out on any given day, but there's a high possibility with the line this long that might just happen. So first point of order here, we're heading over to Batman the Nitro. Maybe we'll even do Skull Mountain. I have not done that one in quite some time, but I have been hearing that Batman has been offering up an extra dose of headbanging for some reason. So I guess let's go find out for ourselves, and hopefully it's not too bad. They do have the day entertainment going here, right in front of where the Batmobile used to sit, in front of the queue here for Batman the Ride. Gonna start heading on in here and report back to you in a moment. Just got done with Batman the Ride. The one thing worth note is that the lockers, there was a line just for the lockers, and then the wait itself was about 20-25 minutes if I had to guess. I didn't time it exactly, but unfortunately there was some headbanging to write home about. So I don't know if it was mainly in like the final turns that can be pretty intense, but unfortunately I experienced a decent amount of headbanging. But that's going to lead us to the next ride over here, Nitro, which unfortunately it looks like the queue is almost out here. Wow, okay. I wonder what the wait time is actually like though. Just got done with Nitro. The line was a little bit deceiving because they aren't using the full queue, so all the switchbacks aren't in use right now. So that meant that the estimation of a half hour was actually pretty accurate, which, okay, cool. I didn't think that would be a thing. But the ride itself, some rattle when you got to the bottom. I've experienced that before, but otherwise it was running pretty good. Still lots of airtime. Load times. This one is notorious for having really good ride ops, so I would say it's about on par for what I expect, even though it is so busy. So definitely this one so far, best ride of the day. That reminds me, I didn't bring up Batman, but that actually loading that train took a little longer than usual. I don't know exactly why, maybe because they have to spread people out, but just something that I forgot to mention. It did take a while to load. This is a part where I tell you how Jersey Devils ops are going, if it was running. Until next year, my friend. I'm over here by the entrance to Skull Mountain. I have not been on this in forever. I think maybe a year and a half or so. So I'm kind of excited to see how it's been running, how the ride-ups are, and I will be right back. Just got done with Skull Mountain, and I forgot that the queue, it kind of funnels you in and you're indoors, and people are really dumb about social distancing. Like, I had somebody bump into me, and I could feel them behind me the entire time. Like, I felt like I was part of their group almost. It was kind of annoying. But that being said, the ride itself was actually quite scary. Not for the reason that you think. All of a sudden, I saw a bunch of people pull out their cell phones, and like half of the train had their cell phones out. So yeah, that was a little bit of a fail there. Plus being like inside that queue there, it didn't feel right to be in there with everybody hooting and hollering and getting real close. They have the markers there, but it doesn't seem like anybody followed them. But anyway, I have not given the Dark Knight any love this season, so I think I'm gonna head over there and see how that one's doing. Just got done with the Dark Knight coaster, and as you can see, people don't socially distance in the queue. It's kind of, I don't know, do we all stop caring altogether, I guess? I don't know. But there is like an abbreviated type of pre-show thing to kind of guide people through into the next area, and then so there's just kind of clumps. So this will move pretty fast, and the wait time that it took, or I'm sorry, the amount of time it took me to get on was about 15 minutes, so it's really not that bad. So if you're a fan of wild mouses with minimal theming indoors, this is your thing for you. So here we are in front of the Joker. It always looks so pretty. I think it's like an ideal spot to look cinematic here. However, the line is unfortunately not very socially distant. I'll go out this way. There's like tiny bit of gaps here, but for the most part, at a 60 to 70 minute wait with people that don't want to socially distance, I don't think I'm gonna go for this. I'm sorry guys, just don't think it's safe. But it does look pretty. So the flashpass line is currently out here. Trying to walk by everybody. It's currently very long. I don't know how long you're waiting for a flashpass there, but it's just crowded here today on these weekends. Going all the way up just for a drink. This is what you're looking at. So as I'm walking through this little alley, well, they have the music blasting today for some reason. However, I didn't mention that like Wonder Woman's Lasso of Truth is at like a 70-minute wait itself. I haven't seen the app update that often, so I don't know how accurate that is. I'm currently trying to hide the sun with my head. Don't know how that's going. But in addition to that, last weekend, for comparison, El Toro was at almost an hour and a half wait. Kingda Ka was just about there as well. So in all honesty, if you're coming to ride roller coasters, Saturday might not be the best day to do it. Just as I was finishing that last clip and I went to check my phones to see if the wait time's updated, they did. El Toro is now at a 130-minute wait. Crazy. I know that the wait times will probably go down a little bit once the spooky stuff starts happening and the mazes start opening, but right now, if you come during the day, it's all bets are off of you getting on any sort of amount of roller coasters. Even Batman the Ride is at a 70-minute wait, so wait times are brutal today. I made a quick stop over at the Kickin' Chicken Boardwalk stop here, and they're selling scarier fingers. Not these fingers, chicken fingers. And you know what? The sauce was actually pretty good. I would recommend it, to be honest. I like when they come out with this limited edition food. I wish they would come out with more stuff. Somebody yelled at my name. That was kind of weird. But I think other than those scarier ones, there isn't anything else other than the funnel cake that they're selling that's special edition. So I think that they could do a little bit more, maybe like 3 or 4 more spooky season foods. It's definitely the crowd that's here to buy it. They got no shortage of customers right now with everybody that's here today. So Green Lantern and Superman are each at a half-hour wait, which isn't too bad. I am surprised that the app is showing Superman at a half hour. Usually the wait times for this can balloon pretty high because even on a good day, it takes a while to actually load the train. I guess I'm about to find out how it is. The queue for Superman is actually closer to about an hour wait. And I waited here for 3 trains to go by to see what the timing was. It's taken about 5 minutes per train to load, which is why the wait time has ballooned as much as it has. Unfortunate. Trying to take a better look at the queue here now that I'm off the ride. Wow. I don't think this is 45 minutes. I think this is way longer. It's all the way back here. Huh. This is the longest I've seen the line all year. Wow. And I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like it was running a little more roughly today. The pretzel loop hit a little differently. I don't know if it's because it's getting colder or what, but maybe. But it definitely wasn't as smooth as I remember it being early on in July. I think I misspoke earlier about Batman the Ride. It's at a 40-minute wait, not 70. Whoops. Green Lantern is posting a half-hour wait. Let's see how it's running. I'm ready to get my ears clapped around those restraints. Here I am at the exit for Green Lantern here. Sorry, I don't know how much music is getting picked up, if that barbed wire is in focus or the track is. Always hard to tell. But it was running as smoothly as ever, which isn't saying a lot to me anyway, but I know some people really do stand this ride. Speaking of the queue though, moving on to that, it is the longest that I have seen in a while, which, whew, it's still close to like a half hour or 40-minute wait though, so don't be befooled by that. It's just, it is the longest I have seen it. It hasn't been, you know, much greater than a walk-on all year. Just shows you how many people are here to celebrate the season. I was hoping to head over to Kingda Ka, but it is currently down right now, unfortunately, so I'm not sure what that means. Should we go to Frontier Adventure first and then loop over to El Toro? Let's try it out. However, I think that in the interest of not using up too much time here, I might wait until later to get on El Toro and see how it's running. But it doesn't look like Bizarro or the Mine Train have a high wait time. Their ops are usually fast, and usually that part of the park isn't quite as crowded. As right now, since I checked the app since getting off of Green Lantern, Nitro is at a 45-minute wait, and Skull Mountain is at a 60-minute wait. Would you guys wait 60 minutes to go on Skull Mountain? Because I don't think I would. I think I forgot to mention about the ops at Green Lantern. They were loading about every 3 to 4 minutes, which wasn't too bad. But I checked the app again as I was making my way over to Mine Train to see how long that line was. And it was about a half hour now that I'm expecting to be in line for Mine Train. Green Lantern, however, has gone up to like an 80-minute wait, which is nuts. I only waited in line for like a half hour or so, which is kind of the cap that I would put on waiting for Green Lantern. But it feels like around this time, which is around like 4 or 5 o'clock, all the crowds are starting to show up for the late night stuff. So I'm just getting ahead of them as I move my way through the park here into the like less crowded areas. Found a little spot here where I can check on Kingda Ka in the back there to see if it starts operating, and also time out how often I see a train for the Runaway Mine Train. My wait was about 20 minutes, which, 10-minute discount, not bad. They're sending a train out about every 3 minutes, which is a little slow, but all in all, it was a good ride. Walking up to Bizarro here, which would indicate to me by the posted 10-minute wait time that they are running all 3 trains. That's always good. Let's see if all the effects are going and how the ride is. Seems like that app was not updated because the line is right behind me and it's almost right next to me. That's how long it is. It is a 55-minute wait now. It's refreshed in the time it took me to get from Mine Train over here. Wow. It's impressive here. Even so, they have the 3 trains running. They have all the elements going. I did go on this last week. I always try to make time for Bizarro. It's one of my favorites here after El Toro and Ka, and Nitro, of course. But usually because of the low wait times, I always make some time to come over here, especially after going on Toro. But wow, that's I've never seen it like this before. At least not this year. I think I'm going to skip this one, but last time I went on it, it was running really well, even when it was cold. Bizarro ops are stellar, as usual. I don't know what they do here, what they put in the water that they give to the ride operators at Bizarro, but they get out a train like every 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half. It's amazing. This mid-course brake run that I'm pointed at right here, though, is the only place that I clap my ears. Everywhere else, it's pretty much smooth sailing. So this one, I think it's in every temperature that I've ridden this at, it has run well. I'm taking a second here to look through this Q Times app that somebody recommended might be a little more accurate in terms of refreshing every so often, so that way I don't get bamboozled like I did with Bizarro. Look at that. That was definitely not the wait time. Then got Batman there, Cyborg's closed, El Toro 130, Green Lantern 100. I'm surprised the Justice League one is so low. I don't think that's right. But then we got Nitro 55, Runaway 30, Skull 60, Superman 60, the Joker at 85, and Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth at 100. Ridiculous. So as you could tell by the clip of the queue behind me, although it was kind of in the background, it was outside of the actual queue. There's no way that's 10 minutes. There's no way. So between the app and that website, I'm not getting accurate wait times, which kind of stinks. But as I'm walking over towards El Toro, I see that the lift hill is actually going at full blast, for lack of a better word. It looked like it was slow. There wasn't a lot of momentum carrying you up that hill, and therefore not a lot of momentum carrying you throughout the rest of the ride. But it seems to be hauling today from what I can tell. And I'm gonna give it a little while because 130 minutes is just not my cup of tea. Even with a flash pass, it's like almost an hour. So I'm gonna give it a little while. I'm gonna go take a little food break here and maybe come back. Hopefully Ka is open. Hopefully Toro is at a lower weight. I'll be with you in a little bit. Just an FYI, if you're trying to head to Ka, this way is closed, and this are all the people waiting for that scare maze to open up. So you gotta come in early and you gotta wait. I am making my way over to Kingda Ka, and I took a couple of clips just to show you what the boardwalk area looked like. I have a feeling that they're just pushing whatever capacity they meant to cap it off at for reservations, because this does not look like the 30% that was recommended. Not even 50. I think it's way more than that. I think that that's going to impact guest experience, and I probably said that before in another video. But right now I'm heading over to Kingda Ka because they just reopened it and the wait time's low. Just wanted to take a quick look. El Toro is back up and running. I don't know. I couldn't find out why it was down. I was just seeing all those people exiting. But it looks like it's moving as normal. It felt like it was a bit sluggish last time. I saw a lot of people saying the same things about it. But I'm just going to sit here and wait until it comes through these last couple turns to see how it's doing. Sunset is actually looking real nice here. It is almost time for the spookiness. That means, now that I think of it, the people that were standing outside the entrance to Mama's Farm, they're waiting like at least an hour before it actually opens. So here we go. Looks like it's hauling. A lot of people were saying it was running kind of sluggish. I don't know, out of that turn it did kind of look a little sluggish. But there's one way to find out, and hopefully in a little bit I'll get on there. But meanwhile, I'm going to turn around here, going to head over to Kingda Ka. So Kingda Ka currently not running, unfortunately. They do have a maintenance guy up at the platform though, which is nice. They're not letting more people in the queue, but there's a ton of people sitting there waiting for the queue to reopen. But we can talk a little bit about how it has operated. This is one of the ones that I've been on most recently. And in the cold, it rattles a lot, especially as it's starting to go up into vertical. But yeah, man.
Yeah, get me in there.
What's up? Say hi real quick.
Hi.
Oh, wow. This channel's called Thrills and Magic, guys, all right?
Yes, sir. You know I'm on the channel.
All right, they get excited to be in the vlog. What can I say? So, Kingda Ka, how was it running previously when it was running? Because I feel like that happens at least once a week or something. It's a rough time to do that because there's less places for people to go. So, Teal Train is the most recently refurbished one. Go for that one. Try to get in the front. It's going to be rattly and more rattly as you go further and further back. So, yeah, it's a rough one. But to me, still a lot of fun, that launch. You just got to deal with that little bit of rattliness as you're on your way up and then when you're going back down. So basically the transitions from vertical to horizontal are kind of the rough spots. I am back at El Toro here, and even with the flash pass, the wait was about 45 minutes. Let's go talk about it a little bit, but man, it's been packed the entire night basically. So thoughts on El Toro. It felt a little slow, to be honest. I think it ran a lot better during the summer. Something changed. I feel like last weekend I saw around the internet people were saying that the lift hill chain was not as fast, and I saw downtime happen because of that. And maybe that meant there wasn't enough momentum going around into the first hill, and then from there if you don't have enough momentum right at the beginning, then what else can you do? So it's hard for me to tell how fast it was going. It felt like it was going at its usual speed, but some of it just fell a little flat. Something felt off to me. I've ridden this maybe upwards of 100 times, maybe more than that, and something felt a little off to me. It felt like the ending was there and it was the same. I got air. It wasn't the same type of forceful air that I usually get where you're up and then you get tugged down, if you know what I mean. I was sitting in the third to last car in the middle seat, so not on the wheels. And usually I get a really good ride out of that, but there were parts of it that just felt a little rougher than usual. So could this be that it's starting to show its age a little bit, or did I just get a bad ride? It's always hard to tell with these things. But El Toro, guys, it's a mixed bag right now to me, and that's heartbreaking to say. I'm gonna have to try it again when I come back. Maybe do that first thing before the line gets up to 130 minutes, because that was crazy. moving on from that, Kingda Ka never opened today, but what I said before still stands. It has run pretty great. Obviously, there's the rattle that a lot of people complain about. Front row is still the best. El Toro here, I love the back sit between the wheels, or in the middle row of each car. I don't know why you would do front. That's not the best, in my opinion. I like the second to last car the most in that middle seat. It's hard to tell how overwhelmed ride ops are out of the ordinary from, you know, what a usual day would be due to all of the guidelines and this stuff, you know. So it's hard to say, but all in all, the coasters were running pretty well. I think it was just El Toro that was a real disappointment, and a bit of the headbanging with Batman the Ride. But otherwise, things were running as they usually are, in my opinion. Ops were kind of usual. I would say maybe add another minute to most of the loading times, but that's kind of to be expected, especially if you start counting cleaning cycles, which is something I didn't really mention, is that periodically they'll spray down the entire train and send it off empty. All that being said, I hope this has helped you guys kind of decide how to plan your evening. I would not recommend a Saturday night, even with a flash pass, in my opinion, unless you get here first thing, ride all the most popular rides, and then you'll have maybe like 2 to 3 hours of minimal crowds. It's around like, somewhere around like 3:30 to 5, the crowds really start coming in. So if you came early, yes, you would have a lot of the park to yourself, especially if you come out here towards El Toro and Bizarro, or even Ka. Come here early, get on those rides. You might even get re-rides early on, but as soon as like 4:30 or 5 o'clock rolls around, it's a done deal. By like 4 o'clock, this was at 70 minutes. By 5 o'clock, it was at 130. So El Toro, most popular belle of the ball here. It's really crowded here for HallowFest when it comes to the roller coasters. Even when all of the mazes, I thought when the mazes opened up, it was going to pull away some of the crowds. Wasn't the case at all. There's not enough of them. The capacity isn't enough. There were hour waits for the mazes. These rides were still over an hour, 100 minutes, easily. That's crazy, right? But anyway, I'm glad I at least got to try all these roller coasters that I haven't done in a while, and I hope you enjoyed following along. So, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and I hope you go make your own adventure. Bye.